I'll be taking care of the second part, where we are going to prepare how to prepare the presentations, how to appear for Huawei, how to appear for ELP module, right? So I'll go to it one by one. So I understand that you might be very skeptical about what to do and what not to do with Huawei and ELP. As you may know that you have already undergone the Huawei and ELP module, so you'll understand that in Huawei we had four components. One component was village attachment, one was industrial attachment, the other was plant planning, and then you had unit attachment. So certain set of students which had already joined certain companies as part of their OGT or maybe internships, or maybe they have joined jobs. You might be skeptical what would happen. We have already told you on a one-on-one basis. However, I will like to repeat it to you that as part of your industrial training, where you go for internship or OJT, your industrial and unit attachment is already covered, right? So the certificate which you are getting from that industry, right, or the offer letter which you have got from that industry as part of placement, would serve as your certificate for industrial attachment, right? And if it is for the period of unit attachment as well, we will consider both the parts, that is the industrial attachment and unit attachment, covered in that particular part. The only remaining part which was there, where you were also allocated supervisors for village attachment as well as for plant clinic, right? Which is wherein you would normally we will go to villages, get attached to certain farmers, do your working and functioning there, right? And okay, I would like to bring to your notice that there is a link which has been shared in form of Google form in your chat, right? It is mandatory for you to mark attendance there, right? As you're attending the session, it is necessary for you to mark your attendance by clicking on that Google form and filling out the necessary information, right? So please do that in the meanwhile while we are going forward with the session. Okay, if you have any queries, again, you can put it into the chat, right? So the village attachment which we were talking about was supposed to be where you would go to with farmers, have interaction with farmer, work with them for their day-to-day activities, right? Which was supposed to be the case, right? Which needs to be covered by you when you are in the industrial attachment already. When you are already in an internship or you are in a job, you have to cover it by yourself, right? And that could be done in your off period or could be done during your holiday period when there is Sundays or something, which you need to talk to your supervisor in association with them. You have to complete that particular period. That is absolutely necessary. There is no exemption from any of the modules, right? Which you may come across. Like all the four modules have to be covered, even if you are placed or if you are on OJT, right? Okay, sorry for the interference. So what we were talking about was the Rave module of village attachment. So you have to make a report, right, of the one which you did. In any case, whether you are directly involved in Rave right now, or you are part of OJT or internship, right? You are supposed to make that report in any case because you are going to do it anyway, right? And the plant clinic is supposed to be done in the same way that is there. So whenever you are in that industrial attachment, right? So unit village attachment, you can also do the similar work on in for that 15 days module, which is there, where you can identify the problems associated with the issues with the farmers or the crops and others, where you have to suggest the possible solutions to the farmers. So that is also part of their plant clinic, right? So all these two modules have to be covered by you in an even if you are on OJT or even your internship or even in case you are in job, right? Now, report has to be made separately for all those four. So it is not that you don't have to make a report of a particular component only. You have to make report for all the four components, and those four components have to be separately submitted. The report has to be separately submitted. You will get an examination for all these four components. You might have interacted with our Ready program coordinator as well. He might have already conveyed this to you, but I am trying to convey it separately because there are certain kind of inquiries still that we get from students, right? And therefore, we need to clarify it at this stage as well, right? So this is about Rave component. So same case is with the ELP component. So people who have are on campus, right? Which who are doing their ELP or experiential learning program. There are two modules in which they have already chosen and which they are appearing for. So they are making you are making your reports for them. So student who are going for internships or going for placement, who are already doing their OGTs, right? Now, in that case, your course code will be changed, right? And then you have to submit your report to report of ELP, that is in form of an internship report. Second. Okay. Okay. So in this case, you have in ELP's case where student has already gone on OGT and the OGT is approved. You need to understand this. Your OGT has to be approved already. Then and it depends on when you have gone. If you have already completed one component or have you completed both the component, and for example, if you have gone in April right now, right? If your OJT is starting from April, then you are not eligible for change of what you call the change of course code, right? Because you have already gone through the entire ELP two ELP modules. So in that case, you are going to give your ELP Viva only. Students who had gone in January, right, who are in OJT, or maybe gone in December by the end of the session, right, and or January by the start of the session, who may not have completed their ELP in university. These students have to give their presentation of internship. Are you getting my point? The students who have gone from March onwards have to still present the ELP modules which they have done here, right? So your presentation has to be made accordingly, right? So if there is a confusion, you need to get this thing clarified right now. So it depends on when you have gone for your OJT or your internship or your job. It is that time you have to see what you have to go for. So March onwards, you have to present your ELP modules which you have done here. Before March, anybody which have gone from January or something, right? They would be presenting their internship report, right? Because your OJT application has the date in which you have joined the company, right? So based on that, it will be bifurcated. So please make it clear that this is how things are going to be, right? Similar in case of Rave, same thing would follow, but in case of Rave, your industrial, when you have gone for an OJT, you're already covering industrial unit. So your unit industrial presentation will have that particular presentation when you have joined it, right? And in case of village and plant clinic, you have to give the village attachment presentation only and the plant clinic presentation only, right? There will not be any exemption for that. I hope you have understood it. Now it has to, now what we need to take care of when you are preparing your report or when you are preparing your presentation, right, is the technical content of it, right? There was a sample copy of these reports already shared with you when your orientation session was been taken care. You have already given sample copies of what, or shown sample copies of what is expected from you. So you need to make the technical report accordingly. So it should have the title page, it should have the table of content, it should have the other component like the introduction of what you are going to do, what kind of modules did you study, what are the two modules in case of ELP which you did, or what are the various components you did, what did you do in village attachment. So you have to have photographs, real-time photographs, the geotagged photographs of the particular field where you had gone to a particular farm or a particular location you have gone to, what are the time periods that you did, what kind of works did you do, and progressively that work has to be. So progressively that work has to be shown in case of your report, right? So there has to be evidence based report which you are going to give. There only writing that I did this would not serve the purpose. So geotagged photos associated with them has to be shared in the report and the presentation. So when you are giving the presentation in front of the panel, you will also present that particular thing in front of the panel when you did it and what is the geotagging that you did while you were making that report, right? Similar in case of plant clinic, you're going to do that, right? Your industrial work which you did will serve as the industrial training report. So whatever you did in that industry, what kind of work has been assigned to you, what jobs did you do, what projects did you do in there, and what was the outcome of these projects and others, and based on that you're going to give the certificate, right? So in case you are placed in a job right now OJT, your final approval of the offer letter and then you're joining, right, you can get an interim certificate from the industry that you had joined in particular this particular date, your appointment letter which you might have already got, right, that will serve as a certificate that you have joined this particular company from this particular date, and then your industrial attachment will be covered from that date till the date you are here at this moment, right? So understood. So there, this is the basic technicality of the report which we are going to see. So if there is any question you might have regarding all the components of Huawei, how the examination is going to take place, right? Or what kind of components I need to cover, what kind of presentation I need to make, how the report has to be made, right? You need to convey that. You need to take care of while you're making the report or the presentation. You need to take care of because it is a technical report, right? We are expecting a graduate to know a certain level of English, right? So when you are making that report, I will suggest you to scan it through Grammarly if you want. You have to write correct English there, right? So that it is understandable, right? Secondly, it should not be plagiarized. When you are saying plagiarized, plagiarism is something when you copy paste something. All these reports will be subjected to plagiarism check, plag check to turn it in, right? And if it is found plagged or copied, you will be directly given zero without even taking the presentations, or maybe without even telling you that that was plagged, or that is why you got the zero. So you will only understand it when the results comes out. So please do not do any kind of plagiarism. That is the big no-no which we have. Do not copy paste from your friends, because all these reports will be scanned. If it is plagiarized, both the reports will come plagged and both will get zeros, right? So you need to understand that, right? Secondly, do submit the reports timely. Many times it happens that the students, while they are presenting, they have not submitted the report yet, and therefore the marks are not uploaded later on. So unless the report is submitted and unless the presentation is done, YY is done, the entire process will not be completed, and therefore you will not be getting your degrees if that process is not complete, right? So many times this kind of an issues which we face, right? Then if the all the certificates which you have provided with the report are cross verified, right? So we cross verified with the industries. Maybe if you are placed through university as well, or you have got independent offers, or whatever is the case in case of your OJT, right? You are still verified. We validate those certificate and verification is done from the industry sides, and we are going to get all the reports from them as well, right? So your attendances also will come from them. So you need to understand that any kind of OJT will directly lead to debarment or detention, and that would be detrimental for your degree. So please do not do that, right? If you have any kind of an issue, you can please come and ask the Ready program coordinator. Dr. Humraj is the coordinator for Ready program. And if not, there is some issue, you can again come to a placement cell regarding any OJT or internship or offers you may have. That is the career guidance cell which we have in 57208. School of Agriculture, right? So any issues there you can ask. And right now, if you have any queries, you can put it into chats if you want, right? Where the chat is open. We are ready to ask you, answer any queries you may have as of now. So if you do not have any queries, I will pass on this session to another friend of mine, right? Dr. Dive will be taking the session forward. Thank you.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So am I audible also?
Yes, sir, you're clearly audible.
Got it. So, students, have you received the attendance link? I think we need to broadcast the message of attendance link because they have not received it. I just checked the attendance part. So only some have
Sure, sir.
filled the attendance sheet. Okay. So meanwhile, while I take a session, you can broadcast the attendance list
Sure, sir.
link. Okay. So good evening, everyone. So Prasad sir has talked about the technical part of this, and we'll be talking about the soft skills part of the same. Right. So whenever you do a presentation, right, so you have to understand that presenting is also an art, right? So my first question to all of you is that you see a picture on the screen here. So do you wish to see your audience sit like this when you present? Right, you can see various expressions, various kind of body language, right? Drop shoulders, disinterested faces, some dreaming here and there, right? Some getting bored, right? So whenever you present, do you wish to see your audience sit like this, right? If you're saying yes, then I'm sure that you do not have a goal to get good marks or the outcome of the presentation. If you're saying no, then obviously it's a wish that you want to do a good presentation. And if you're saying it's not in my hands, then this presentation is for you because it is actually in your hands to make sure that the audience listens to you and they pay interest while you are presenting. And plus, they also pay attention, right, to whatever you say. Let's move on. So the first step is the face expressions. So do you think your face expressions matter while presenting? Okay, so if you're saying yes, then you are on the same page as I am. But if you're saying no, then you have to understand that your face is. Third can be lack of preparation, right? Then can be you don't even think that it's important. Okay. Then another reason can be that show people what you have done. Second can be how much value you have done, right? So understanding the audience is very important. You have to understand the expectation of the audience. For example, make sure that you check all these things. Now moving forward, let's understand how to structure our presentation. So every presentation will have three parts. One is opening, second is body, and third is closing. Right. So opening and closing both are very, very important. Obviously, body is important, but how you open the presentation, right? But then he said the story of an entrepreneur who started organic farming, right? Then these sound effects, obviously, these are not for formal presentations, but yeah, if you think that something is dramatic you want to show, you can definitely use some sound effects at the start. Comedians, but then we can learn something from them. We can see how do they start, we can see how do they end, we can see their body language, we can see I have to present it, right? So its long-term goal is that whenever you work hard, right, it returns, it gives positive returns. So your visualization of goals is also important. That whatever you are going to present is a part of a bigger thing, right? It's a part of a bigger scheme. It fits into your career preparation. Friend, relax yourself. If you have any questions, you can definitely ask us, right, in the chat box. And you can also email us. We'll send you an email regarding the attendance link if you have not been able to mark the attendance, right? So we'll do that. Divya, I think if you have any questions in the chat box, you can share with me. Yes, Divya, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you, sir. And what I'm doing, I'm typing the email ID also.
Okay, okay, right.
I'm typing your email ID in the chat box. If they have some questions which are still left or which have been left unanswered, they can send the questions to us and we'll revert to them shortly.
Right, right. So yeah, they can send us and you
And if
can
in
email
case,
them the attendance list. So
sure,
attendance
sir, I'll do
link,
that.
right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
I'll forward the
uh,
email also to them.
okay, okay. All right. So
All
I
right, sir.
think that's it from our
Thanks
side,
for your
right?
precious time. Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, sir. I would like to thank Dr. Prasad Rasane, sir, Dr. Sunil, and you also, sir. Thanks for very precious time and thanks for adding a lot of knowledge and value to all the students. Hope all these learnings will help them in their